a little bit.
Hi, I'm Jon Yeo, and an author and entrepreneur, and obviously you can tell I'm not originally your typical Aussie. I am actually fifth generation Australian-born Chinese. My dad was born in Malaysia though, and he came out here when he was 20, so I've been here all my life. Quite an interesting perspective from that point of view, because I've got quite a traditional Asian background and living in a Western world, and my dad had the exact opposite. He went to an English school in Malaysia, so he had the exact opposite experience. And what that actually enables us to do is actually really get a clarity on what really is typically cultural and what typically is human nature. There are certain things that people take for granted that are just, you know, quite unusual in your homeland. Classic examples probably for Western world is the Asian family is very tight knit, very close, and you don't really question parents, grandparents, or seniors in your family. And it's the exact opposite here. It's the exact opposite in Australia. That was probably the biggest difference, because when you got out into the corporate world, it's kind of like you had to have some sort of independent thought, and I don't believe that that's really fostered in the Asian community. Inversely, the advantage of the Asian community is that it's highly structured. So you knew your place, you knew where you needed to be, you knew how to address people, and you knew how the function of life works. So if you had a certain event that turned up, you knew what you needed to do, when you needed to do it, and how you needed to address the people there. Very straightforward. Here it's kind of like you don't know whether you're talking to the CEO or the guy that empties the bins, you know, and you know, you're supposed to kind of build this relationship at a corporate level. It's very different relationship. So really small things like that, cultural differences that unless you're really looking out for them, you can really miss them. One of them here, some other ones that here is more along the lines of, well, maybe I'm getting on topic of who I am and where I'm going, but they really impacted the way they worked, because when I went to work, the first job I had was very, you know, here's a computer, go fix it, make whatever you need to happen to it. And I was lost because, again, in an Asian community, you're told when to do it, how to do it, and when it needs to be delivered. And it's quite interesting. So they're the types of things that you really need to be aware of. And when you're addressing people in different cultural backgrounds and different cultural spaces, you've got to be aware of these things. The Japanese have a very particular way at how you address people. The Americans have a very professional and very straightforward way of how you work with them, whereas in Australia we're all kind of laid back and kind of, you know, pretty casual about things. One of the things the US loves about working with Australians is we're pretty laid back.